The 1912 Stockholm Games were considered a Swedish masterpiece because of the use of new technology, making them the most efficient games to date. These games were full of interesting events, as well as notable athletes who overcame the clutches of racism and sexism.
Outside of the Olympics, 1912 was the year with many landmark events. The Republic of China was established, New Mexico became part of the United States, radio became a valuable communication tool, the Netherlands Olympic Committee formed, and pitcher Cy Young retired from baseball.
Stockholm was the only bid for the 1912 Games and was officially chosen in 1909. They were chosen because they could attain full financial support from the king. During the opening ceremony, there was a royal procession by automobile into the stadium, a parade of nations, and the first unofficial Olympic flame. Gymnastics was performed by the Swedish national team, and a dance was performed by the Russian national team. This was the first time where gymnastics and dance were displayed at the opening ceremonies.
Also, during the opening ceremonies, there was a Christian prayer and a Christian hymn performed for the first time ever. At the end of the ceremonies, King Gustav V declared the games open, and 3 cheers were given in his honor. This was one of the smallest opening ceremonies. These were the first Olympics to recognize and award medals for painting, sculpture, architecture, literature, and music. The works of art were supposed to be original pieces inspired by sport. Interestingly enough, IOC President Coubertin was the first to win a gold medal in literature.
Surprisingly, boxing was banned from the 1912 Olympics. Swedish law did not allow for boxing to take place. On the contrary, boxing has been in every Olympics since 1912.
In 1912, a featured sport in the Games was tug of war. The Games' hosts were considered some of its best practitioners. Pictured is a match between Sweden and Great Britain. The official report declared the sport is especially suited to the natural bent of the Swede.
This was the first Olympics where women were allowed to participate in swimming and diving. Franny Durack, a female swimmer from Australia, won the first gold medal as a woman in the 100-meter freestyle. Overall, 48 women competed out of 2,407 athletes.
Sexism was very apparent at these Olympics. Although 1912 was the first time women's swimming and diving was included, the United States did not participate because they required their female athletes to wear long skirts.
Jim Thorpe and Duke Kahanamoku were a victim of racism in sport. When Duke was on U.S. tours, restaurants would occasionally refuse to serve him. At Carlisle Indian School, Jim was forced to assimilate into white culture.
Jim Thorpe was a Native American and a natural athlete. He played several sports and was an All-American at football at the Carlisle Indian School. In the 1912 Olympics, Jim won the pentathlon and the decathlon. His native name is Wauhothuk, which translated as path lit by great flash of lightning.
Thorpe was proclaimed by Sweden's king to be the greatest athlete in the world, to which Thorpe replied, "Thanks, king." Sadly, a newspaper revealed Jim had been paid to play minor league baseball in 1909 and 1910. In turn, Thorpe was stripped of his medals and his historic performance was stricken from the Olympic record books. Duke Kahanamoku won the swimming gold medal in this Olympics as well as in 1920. He was also an alternate of the water polo team. He was largely credited with the modern growth of surfing. This was the last Olympics to award pure gold medals. Also, this was the first time there were athletes representing 5 continents. Japan was the first Asian nation to participate as well. Greta Carlson was the youngest participant of the Games at the age of 14 years old, finishing fourth in the 4x1 freestyle relay. Swan was the oldest participant of the Games at the age of 64. He was on the gold-winning team single shot event.
The results of this Olympics were very close. Sweden won with 65 points, while the United States came in second with a close 64 points. Although America lost in medal count, Jim Thorpe was considered the star of the Stockholm Games.
Young man on the track.